Good evening.
Good morning.
Good afternoon. Good day.
3. Couldn't be better. We're here again, once again, in the ancestral hovel.
We've decided to, as it's Father's Day, to go right back to basics.
Happy Father's Day. Yes.
Thank you very much indeed.
And you should be wishing that to me as well for my children that I have.
Ah, yes,
They
of
should
course,
be
the
wishing
ones
it
that
to
we're
you,
not
yeah.
allowed to see.
The
Because
one that I don't know exists. The one that I don't exist.
Anyway, my son behind the camera.
Yeah.
And my son in front of the camera, next to me.
Very good.
So, viewer, here we are again.
And what are we?
Well, we're back in the hovel. We're
today?
back in the ancestral hovel.
The grounds.
The ground. We're there. We're there. The parklands of the ancestral hovel.
The parklands. Oh, what is that? There's a deer, stag over there.
Stag. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even the
deer park.
Yeah. Very
anyway, and in line with our mission statement, basically to smoke stuff that isn't available and probably wasn't very good at the time anyway.
Yes. Here we go.
We've got something that, dear viewer,
Ticks both those boxes. Probably.
ticks both those boxes. Was actually quite hard to get hold of at the time, and the time was what, 2012?
2012. Yeah.
2012, so 8 years ago, you know, not exactly a very long time ago, but kind of long enough sort of to be recondite. And it's a Petit Belicoso.
It is, and it's the Ramon Allones, and it's the regional
Grand Britannia edition. And of course, the viewer, you will of course remember better than I, that it was a Ramon Allones Sublimes that was the big success that year from the Lebanon. And this one kind of, wasn't it, Max, I think?
Was it the Phoenicios? No, that was 2008. It's my mistake.
There was a rerun.
Right.
There was a
rerun of that to commemorate something.
A Sublimes or something. Anyway, whatever it was.
It was good.
Whatever it was good. And it made a bit more headlines than this one.
Yes.
So this one kind of snuck in under the radar.
Yes.
Odd size, not a very well-known brand, regional edition. I think.
But that's the regional edition kind of motto, isn't it? You have to have something from a local brand as opposed to an international brand.
Well, you can't have a sort of.
You can't have a Cohiba or Romeo and Juliet or Monte Cristo
or anything that you might actually want.
Yeah, so you get things like Sancho Panza,
which I love. Sancho Panza. Do you remember when we reinvented the Sancho Panza Sancho? They had 999 years stock of that.
The Sanchos or the
Sancho Panza Sanchos. Yes,
it's a Monte Cristo A size, isn't it?
Yes, but
huge cigar.
Anyway, here we are.
Yes, we're here again.
Now,
I found these somewhere in the bottom of a couple of your humidors.
Yes.
I think you'd probably forgotten they existed. So I
like
rediscovered them. Condition, I'm not too sure about. They seem to be okay at the moment.
They seem all right.
You know.
Would you get a bit of a spicy smell off that?
Yeah. But that could just be your humidor.
Yeah, it could be. Actually, that's not bad. How's it draw?
You can definitely taste the age already, I think.
Slightly medicinal?
Not for me.
Good. But of course, you see a great consistency and quality of the Cuban manufacture.
Yeah, we've got a Claro, Colorado, and a Colorado Maduro maybe there.
Yep, it's good. It's good. So
yes,
as always,
very good.
We just look.
Oh yeah, let's lean over, lean. Look at that.
You see, look at that.
Look
at that.
Focus on that. No.
And we're off.
And we're going. Here we go. Let's have a look. We've got good conditions today, actually, so I could light it in my hand.
Yes, we don't have the usual storms.
No.
Ah, I say that.
Wow, look at that. Your light is going for it. Let's see.
First impressions, rich and nutty.
I would agree, but I'm also getting that grassiness that brings on my hay fever.
Or the woodiness that you get splinters in your mouth.
The woodiness that you get splinters in your mouth, yeah.
Well, I like the size. Now, what was well, first of all, Ramon Allones, as the viewer well knows, founded in 1837 by the man, unsurprisingly named Ramon Allones.
Common knowledge, I was taught that in school.
Yes, you were, year 2.
Yeah, year 2 I think it was.
Year 2, and again, once more when you did the postgraduate studies with Brunel, engineering, wasn't it?
Engineering in Brunel. I remember Bolivar was year 3, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Anyway, the Ramon, 1837, apparently the first cigar maker brand to use color lithography as opposed to non-color, non-lithography.
Yes, black and white lithography.
Jazzed up the boxes a bit. And then he was also... you know the packaging system of the 898 that they do the Partagas Lonsdale shape, whatever it is called, the Partagas.
The Dahlia size, 43 ring gauge, same size as the Siglo 5.
Yeah, the Lonsdale size, I think it is, or was. Is it? Yes, maybe.
Lonsdale is Cervantes. Is a little
Oh,
bit
okay.
different.
Anyway, whatever. Yeah, there you beat
Whatever,
me.
yeah.
You
I
anyway.
won. Yes.
You won.
Yes.
The
Could be wrong, though.
he invented the 898 Ramon Allones, the 898 form of packaging, which is, as the name suggests, one row of 8, one row of 9, one row of 8.
And with the particles, when you've got the curved edges, the kind of
Yes.
swelling edges of the box, which,
Yes.
which look very nice as
Yeah.
well.
So he was an innovative maker. The strength is, I regard it as, I always try and stay away from these, to be honest, because they're a bit, they worry me sometimes. They're a bit strong. But the Bolivar Petit Belicoso from 2009 limited edition, was it 2009?
2000, yes, I think so. Our single viewer might
Our viewer will
might
know.
correct
I mean,
us.
we don't even know.
I don't even know what's going on
No.
anymore, to be honest.
But anyway, the viewer, you'll know. But the 2009 Petit Belicoso was a surprising delight from Bolivar. It was smooth, creamy, full flavored, but not that sort of blow to the middle of the head.
I've never smoked one of those, and admittedly, this is the first time smoking one of these. And funnily enough, when you mentioned Bolivar, I got the kind of gaminess, not metallic, but kind of, and it's crude to say bloody, but yeah, a gaminess, gamey flavor of the Bolivar blend inside of this Ramon. And admittedly, to start with, it seems quite mild, but I can imagine that just being a ruse.
I don't think mild. It's definitely got something like a kind of chocolate, but strong chocolate,
95% cocoa.
87.32.
Quite a big difference, yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is delicious so far. I've got a little spice there as well. And this spice I'm not shying away from.
Now, I remember Gemma Freeman, the sainted Gemma, whose father was a dear friend, Nick, before he unfortunately went to the great humidor in the sky. He was very fond of these Ramon Allones, or Ramon All Ones, as they were known in English.
The Raymond All Ones.
The Ramon All
I think
Ones.
that's known in American English, I think is what it is.
And the specially selected was, of course, their great sort of robusto-sized.
Yes, it was. It's a powerful cigar, but with age, I've had I think one aged one. For me, an aged cigar, considering my age.
Well, yeah, half your age, sort of 10 years old. Or something.
And I always find that they get really quite nutty. That sensation, that creamy sensation you get. Although I did have one the other morning. I say morning, it was probably 1 p.m. But that was.
What were you doing up so early?
I know that was prior to breakfast as well, so I hadn't even eaten, and I lit a Ramon, which was very kindly sent to me by Jimmy McGee of Hunters, and it was delicious.
What was it?
It was especially selected.
Wow.
Yeah, and I smoked that, and I thought it was delicious. Stood up and had to immediately sit back down and have a little nap until I'd say probably 3. Then I arose, had some breakfast. I wasn't working that day, thankfully. So
Yeah. Well, otherwise it would have been a bit of
would have been fired, certainly.
Yeah, for turning up to close the shop.
Yeah.
And talking of the shop, isn't this a favourite of one of your colleagues? This cigar.
This is, yes, Mr. Luigi Scardi, the famed Luigi Scardi, a master of Havana cigars. He is very, very fond of this cigar. I'm not quoting him on this, but I believe I remember him saying that it was one of his favourite regional editions, if not his favourite.
And Luigi knows a thing or two about cigars.
Yeah. It's hard to get past the Italian accent to start with, but he really knows.
He knows
quite
his
well.
onions, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does for sure.
And he knows his cigars as well as his onions, which is good. It's good, considering he's not in an onion shop. Although I'm sure if you want some onions, he could direct you down the road to Fortnum
Well,
Mason's.
he's also doing his wine course or whiskey course or something like that. Yeah. And his friend.
I wonder if they do courses in Coca-Cola Zero.
Yes. Well,
How to decant it.
How to decant it? Yeah. That would be very good actually. I do enjoy Coca-Cola. Actually, I prefer the full fat Coca-Cola.
I remember my
richness
great
with it.
excitement when I went to America for the first time in the 1980s was to see 5 different types of Coca-Cola available from a vending machine in what I believe was called a gas station.
That's more than there are nowadays, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I mean, there's America it was the height of its civilization.
Yeah.
Great country.
Yeah, sure. We'll leave it at that. We shall.
Yeah,
I know you're.
maybe
I know you're being sarcastic.
Well, one or two shortcomings, but Coca-Cola is not among them.
No, certainly not. Apparently, the flavour in Coca-Cola differs depending on where it's brewed.
Yes, and how it's cellared.
Yeah, there you go.
But what about this one? Great favourite in the English market, the Ramon Allones, or the Ramon all ones. The 225th Anniversario regional from Hunter's Cabeza Tombada, which was
It's a gordito ciders.
Which was neither the Pyramide head nor the normal flat head.
Nor the Parejo head. It's a combination of the two.
Bit of everything.
Yeah.
It was imagined like it was like a kind of volcano where the top had already blown off.
Yeah. It's a great looking cigar, and again, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it is Mr. Kirby Allison's favourite smoke, or one of his favourite.
Kirby Allison, our great hero, of course. We are very envious of his title sequence with the maps and so forth.
That is brilliant.
It is something like out of it makes the Da Vinci Code look positively pedestrian and prosaic in its
how can we do that ourselves? I mean,
I don't know, but Kirby, if you're watching this, can we have you knock us up alongside a libation, maybe a new title sequence?
I look forward to that. That would be very good.
But so Mr. Kirby Allison's I mean, it's all stacking up in the favour of the Ramon Allones, isn't it?
It is.
And actually, I must say, this cigar is. I mean, there are other things I'd rather be having, like a nice Siglo 5, but actually, this is an interesting cigar to have.
I think I've noticed the strength as now.
Yeah,
as well.
that's what I was saying. I mean, I was quite enthusiastically going at it, and now.
Yes, and now I'm having to slow down a little bit. You know, the age has definitely calmed it down. So I kind of dread to think what it was like originally. Probably a firecracker.
Yeah. It's nice.
God, the water tastes so refreshing now.
Oh, gosh, we know how to live. We know a nice glass of tap
I'm
water.
in my flannels and it's it's scorching out here. Thankfully the clouds have gone over the sun now. I might take my sunglasses off for a little moment, give my eyes.
I can't. I might be able
to rest.
I might be able to see if I took my sunglasses off.
So I've also noticed a great construction to it. There's a little side burn, but that would be due to the conditions, in the
mine's burning reasonably evenly.
Which my poor lighting skills.
No. I think mine's mine's got this kind of oscillator type sort of thing. On a mass oscilloscope, you have those sort of things going up and down.
Yeah, very similar. Very familiar with the mass oscilloscope. I mean, I almost mistook oscillating for an ocelot for a second. So.
Well, it would be. Wasn't it Salvador Dali who used to take ocelots?
And anteaters, no.
No, was it ocelots?
I don't know. Remember when he was still doing his talk and he was doing his moustache?
His moustache. He used Hungarian moustache wax purchased on the Place Vendôme. Yes, he was being interviewed by Malcolm Muggeridge. A rumping and a jumping.
Rumping and jumping.
That's the best.
We need to put the link.
We should really. I mean, I model my interviewing skills now upon
and the jumping.
Malcolm Muggeridge from now on.
Oh, he's a genius, that man.
What was it? A sort of nuclear spiritualism or nuclear.
Yes.
I don't know.
He loved it. It was great. And
a rumping and a jumping. And it took him 10 minutes to paint that picture of...
he came all the way to paint it, almost done. And it was 10 minutes in, 15 minutes. Great. Flavour-wise, what have you got so far?
Well, that's slight iodine tang, that kind of slightly metallic. You get kind of Bolivar characteristics, but without necessarily having that steamroller strength. Now that could just be the age, or it could be something to do with the blend, because it's distinct. I'd be interested one day to do it. Well, I mean, I'm probably getting too old now to be able to taste a Bolivar and a Ramon side by side. I mean, that might propel me into an earlier grave than I would necessarily care for.
But we know that's nothing to shout. We know that's nothing to share. Mr. Ramon, the genius.
Mr. Ramon would smoke 8 of these while asleep.
Wow, this would be the equivalent of a Hoyo. Dumer, the smallest of all the Hoyos.
It's nothing,
It's nothing for him. It's absolutely brilliant. Do you remember when we were tasting the 40th anniversary and he finished the cigar in 10 minutes or 15 minutes?
Yes.
Or so?
Yes.
But enjoyed it thoroughly throughout.
Throughout those 10 minutes.
And it wasn't as if it didn't look as if he was rushing it at all. It was just every puff, took at least a quarter of the cigar with it. And then the amazing smoke rings that came after that.
The man is an example to us all.
Sunglasses. Ooh, God.
Gosh.
I don't really go outside too much anymore.
It's like the south of France.
It really is.
Except Shepherd's Bush.
I was going to say, I got this a coffee, I suppose coffee.
Yeah, I had that coffee chocolate mocha.
Mocha chocolate biscuit,
No, not so much biscuit.
Cadbury Dairy Milk.
No. You do it a disservice. It's a grown up. There's more dimension to it than I thought. More nuance, more subtlety. Although maybe that's a strange word to use with a strong cigar
Certainly more powerful than I expected it to be.
because of the age.
Yeah, I
You
would
can
have
taste the
expected-
age.
You
It's
can
taken the edge
for
off.
sure taste the age on it, definitely. And I suppose you've had. When did you get these? Did you get them in 2012? Because there's only 2 singles I found. I mean, maybe you have a box lying around, but I don't think so.
I don't think I do. I
Um,
mean, to be honest, it's the kind of thing that I wouldn't necessarily have sort of
bother with. Yeah.
because I know that it's normally the kind of thing that terrifies me.
Yes. So back to the kind of regional editions. I remember in your book, Hunters put a great deal of effort into recreating the old Paul Larrañaga band for the Magnificos, if I'm not mistaken. And if you see those, the Sobresalientes and the Magnificos, the band is so bling, embossed gold. It's huge. I suppose it's the kind of a cigar wearing a Rolex type of thing, you know.
No, not a Rolex, more of a Jacob.
I don't know what a Jacob is.
Jacob the jeweler.
Jacob the jeweler.
Very popular with. He's a great guy. I beat him at backgammon once, and he's never let me win ever since.
Oh, okay. Very good.
No, yeah, there's a certain
And they went.
obvious charm to it. Shall
Yeah.
we say that?
There's-
It's
there-
beautiful. They went to Eindhoven
That's
to a
it.
sort of, and they revived some 100-year-old printing technique.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? It's really good.
It's good. That's proper. That's proper.
Yeah, and that's that's probably the coolest. I mean, you've got that, and you've also got obviously the new La Reina, which is a great looking cigar.
And the exact opposite end of the spectrum taste-wise.
Yes, and format-wise as well. I mean,
Yeah.
it just couldn't be any more different. I mean,
Apart from that, they both work. But,
Yeah.
but the Larrañaga is a great cigar. Should we give the filming a bit of a break now and then return in a minute?
we'll do that. Very good.
Well, we're back. God, and we're still standing, but we had to take our coats off
Minus blazers, yes. You've got to,
because it's sort of trifle hard work, I find, don't you?
yeah, this isn't getting to me, but I feel something, you know.
It's a powerful cigar,
Yes.
beautiful ash. I was able to stand my cigar on its own ash, which was
good, yes. There'll hopefully be a picture of that later. It's quite
for
something.
me that was.
I've
that
only ever
was-
seen that on Instagram, never in real life.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's
it's an
great.
Instagram stunt to stand your cigar up on its ash.
Well, I'd love to stand a Monte Cristo A on about sort of 8
Yeah.
feet of ash.
Well, they do it in different places, you know. You do it on the top of the Empire State Building. You know.
No, they don't.
No. They do it on top of Eiffel Tower. But no, it's a great cigar. And you were saying it's getting a little too gamey
Yeah, maybe.
for you. But you've got this, and funnily enough, I got kind of a cumin-esque
I like it.
flavour.
I like. I know.
Cumin-esque.
I know what you mean.
Or it was more an aroma than flavour, I think.
No, I think I understand what you mean about that cumin, because that's almost like a slightly. I don't know. It's almost like a herby medicinal, not medicinal, but
Yeah.
herby.
It's very interesting. I'm enjoying it. And it kind of fills your mouth with flavour. And
It does.
the aftertaste is very, or the sensation at least in your mouth. Sometimes you can get some kind of acrid aftertaste flavour. There's nothing like that at all with
It's
this.
a very grown-up cigar,
Yeah.
and the steeple of ash, beautifully formed.
Yes, you kept your ash on for a while. I mean, I've only ashed
I'm
mine
going to
once.
tap your
and,
ash off and just see how the
The steeple forms.
steeple forms.
We've got a nice, let's see. Oh, it doesn't want to go.
Tap, tap, tap.
I don't want to force it. We've got it's only
Steeplet.
it's only because it's, you know,
Unburned on
yeah,
that
it's
side.
on that
So
side.
there
but
we
you
go.
can't see the steeple. It's very good. I like it a lot.
Excellent.
And
Do you think that's about it? Do you think we need to tax the viewer with any more of our rambling?
so as a roundup, we say it's a grown-up cigar with a full, rich flavour.
Quite gamey,
quite
bit of
gamey.
cumin,
Recommended
bit
after
of
a meal.
chocolate, blended after something quite substantial to eat.
Yeah, and it can keep you going through. I mean, I thought it would be quite a quick cigar to get through, but we've been going for 20 minutes
It's
or
not
so.
a quick
and-
cigar, and even the little Bolivar I had in the same format, they're not quick cigars. That could be because of the strength. It could be because of I don't know what.
Maybe it's if they just put the correct amount of tobacco in it. For
But it
once.
doesn't sort of you don't rock it through it.
Yeah. But yes, I think it's a great cigar, and if you can find it, which you won't be able to, pick it
Do
up.
you have any at the shop?
We might do. What we do have, funnily enough, are the Hunters and Franco Cabeza Tombada Gorditos from 2015. We have those, I think, in cabinets of 25.
And in the cabinets
singles.
of
And in a big,
100.
yes, the cabinets of 100, 4 different boxes, all in the numbered cabinets, which are great.
And the cabinets are modelled on what they used to import cigars into the UK
Yes.
in the 1930s or 20s.
Yes,
or something.
really, really great looking things. And we might have some of these as well. If you come in and ask for them, I might be able to rustle some
Do you
up.
reckon?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I can't,
Don't hold you to it.
don't hold me to it, but, might be able to.
Anyway, viewer, it's been
It's been a
a
pleasure.
real experience. And
Thank you for joining us.
we've gone back to basics, back at the hovel, back with a cigar that you can't buy.
It's just the way things should be.
It really is, and we're fighting the virus one corona at a time.